Okay, welcome all of you, and I'm very happy that the Panorama teaching program is organized by the Flowering Dharma, and particularly seeing the new faces, except for some who have been meeting the last 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Otherwise, there are many new faces. I'm very happy to meet each and every one of you. And the basic idea of the Panorama was more from, I would say, the initially as a Flowering Dharma, and then the Flowering Dharma took the next step, the Confluence, and then alongside the Confluence was the concept, the Panorama teaching program. One thing which is so unique about the Flowering Dharma is bringing all the youngsters together, whatever religious background, whatever denominations, or whatever backgrounds you're from, bringing everyone together. In fact, I remember, I think 3 years ago, when they first organized the Confluence program, Confluence in Chandigarh, likewise in Jammu. There in Jammu, what I mentioned in the public gathering was that the same place where Flowering Dharma brought together the students, the Muslim boys and girls, Hindu boys and girls, Buddhist boys and girls, Christian boys and girls, and I'm not too sure about the others, whether they were present, but then for sure from these denominations, the young boys and girls were all brought into the same venue, Women's College, and in the auditorium, a huge auditorium, and all the boys and girls from the different denominations, religious denominations, they were so happy to be together. So in the gathering, I said that about like 70 years ago, the same place where the gathering of the people from the different traditions, where this gathering is happening, that same place, 70 years ago, there was a bloodshed happening because people from India, they were going towards Pakistan. The Muslims from India going to Pakistan to take refuge there. The Hindus from Pakistan, they run towards India to refuge. On the way, bloodshed happening. And I said, today, instead of bloodshed, there's harmony, there's a confluence happening. Had it been the case that those leaders who are responsible for those bloodshed, if they're alive here today, they'll be ashamed of seeing what is happening today. Confluence, instead of bloodshed, confluence is happening. So this is the achievement of the today's youngsters, particularly by the Flowering Dharma group. So I'm very happy that the Flowering Dharma, they organized this program, and Tashila, the one who spearheaded this program since many years. So it is incredibly great vision and the courage and the charisma and the strength, and the networking with the seniors that he's able to do this undertaking. And alongside we have all these young the members involved, like Lopsangla, Tapala, and then so today Sonam Nubula there, Ladula is there, and then the earlier, the former members, very dynamic members were there, Stanzanla, Sonamla, and then the Tashi Junior and Chotunla. Okay, a number of them are there. So what I'm they suggesting as the youngsters here. So being a part of the Flowering Dharma, see, you can also do the same thing. You can also be a part of Flowering Dharma and see if you can also, let's say, carry forth this program and they continuously in the future. And see, so wherever you are, if you spend more time in Delhi or in Chandigarh or in Kashmir or in Ladakh, or in Ladakh there already has the Raghu house there, but in other places, see if you can start your own chapter of the Flowering Dharma. And the point is that see the charisma, the dynamics, and the responsibility, a sense of responsibility. So this is something we can really learn profoundly from the Flowering Dharma. First of all, more than my the lecture here, they let me wholeheartedly thank the Flowering Dharma group. And Thabara is hiding where? Okay, Thabara is hiding there. Okay, so all the members there. So it is such a joy for me to meet with youngsters, that whatever little that I've learned in my life, not necessarily about Buddhism, but about the way of life, how to lead your life more meaningfully, how to later say you attend this Panorama and you go back home, and then your parents, they feel more, they see you as more welcoming, they see you as more settled, they see you as more grounded and more realistic and more smiling, right? Otherwise, you know how to smile at the strangers, but you don't know how to smile at your parents. You take for granted, right? The parents, they say, my daughter, you like to have a cup of tea. No, what cup of tea, right? So oftentimes it can happen, my son, you like a cup of tea, you must be tired, cup of tea. What cup of tea, right? So you just take for granted your parents. So now coming to Panorama, you go there, the mother tells you, oh my son, my daughter, you like a cup of tea. No, mom, please take rest, right? Please take rest. What like to have it? Shall I serve you tea, hot water, or what? Right? Then the mother will be amazed, pleasantly amazed. Wow, such a change, right? So why this change? Because they went for the Panorama program, right? They're amazing. Yeah, so the point that I'm saying is that it's not about Buddhism, it's about a way of life. To lead you, in the first place, to think of making contribution to the world, to bring about world peace. First thing that we need to do is bring peace within yourself. Then bring the peace within your immediate family members who love you so much. Don't let us not take for granted. You're getting it, take for granted the love that you get from your mother, the love that you get from your father, right? Say the boys and girls, when you were age 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, when you are so cute. The boys and girls, you're all very cute at that age. And then just as you're physically, you're so cute, right? Your mind is also very cute with your mother, with your father. It's so, you embrace your mother freely. When you reach the age of 14, 15, 16, then the hugging your mother, hugging your dad is little, difficult. And then physically you are still cute, but mentally you are not cute anymore, right? With the family members, you are not cute. Outside, you may pretend as though you are very cute, right? Okay, so the point is, first we have to learn it from your own house, from your home. Make your family happy, right? Learn this from Panorama. It's not that you have to change your religion. It's not that you have to embrace Buddhism. That's not the point. The point is learn how to lead a meaningful life for yourself. Be yourself, less stressful. Learn how to be stress-free. Learn how to be anxiety-free. Learn how to make your family members happy, right? The mother will feel happy. The mother worries about you, right? Mother worries about you. And then instead of adding to the worry, already existing worry of the mother, you just calm down the mother's worry. Mother, don't worry. I'll take care of myself. Don't worry. I know you love me so much. Just imagine the amount of love that the mother will feel towards you. Likewise, your dad. Likewise, your family members. They all love you so much, right? And you may be thinking, particularly when you reach age 15, 16, 17, then you may think that my mother is so overprotective, right? So every evening, she would make sure that she calls me, where are you? Right? You're very disturbing, overprotective, right? This is what you go through when you're age 16, 17, 18, 19. So there, the point is that the mother's calling you, mother's not calling neighbor's girl, mother's not calling neighbor's son, neighbor's boy, right? Mother's calling somebody to whom she loves so much. So instead of seeing her to be very overprotective, being so the least concerned about, my esteem with my friends, right? Instead of that, you look at it from a different angle. Why she's calling me? Right? It's because she loves me so much. Why is my father calling me? Because he loves me so much. So this is how we have to learn from Panorama. You're getting it? So finally, don't forget, enjoy pizza, don't become Italian. Enjoy pizza, I mean it. Enjoy pizza, don't become Italian. Right? Be a good Indian. Be a good Ladakhi. Be a good, say, the Hindu. Be a good Muslim. Be a good Christian. Be a good Jain. Be a good Jew. Be a good non-believer. If you don't believe anything, be a good non-believer. The point is, be happy. Learn how to be happy yourself. And because that this world is the world of interdependency, you cannot be happy without making people around you happy. If you make people around you unhappy, you can never be happy. So finally, with this Panorama, what we're learning is how to save the 2 points. 2 points. Don't begin by saying that I'm attending Panorama, I'm attending Flowering Dharma's program known as the Buddhist, what is that? Panorama of Buddhist philosophy, psychology, science and practice. Buddhist. Don't start from there. Start from, why should I have to go to Panorama? Start from there. Why should I have to go to Panorama? Why? Right? To learn Buddhism? No. Don't start from there. Right? Even for Buddhists, don't go there, don't go to Panorama with the thought that, so that I can learn Buddhism more. No, don't start from there. Start from clean slate. Clean slate. Clean slate means how many you had the experience of day one you were born? How many you have that experience? You have no experience. You do not go through this process. Right? You all fell from the earth, from the sky, or you're born from the mother's womb. You're all born from mother's womb, which means that we all had the day one experience. Whether you're aware of that or not, that is a different question. The question is that you all went through that process. How many of you went through that process? Day one you were born on this earth. Raise your hands. Don't speak on behalf of others. Just raise your hands. Very good. Each one of us, right? Day one you were born, how many of you cried? Raise your hands. Don't speak on others. Don't speak on behalf of others. Just raise your hands. Okay, we all have cried, no doubt. If we have not cried, somebody will slap you. Right? Slap you to make you cry. Make you cry. And how did you cry? When you cried, did you cry saying that, the other baby is not getting milk? Or you said that I am suffering, I'm feeling cold, I want milk? How do you cry? How do you cry? Start from there. Be very realistic. You're getting it? Be very realistic. Some people, they have very fancy idea about Buddhism. Buddhism is a nice religion. It's not about nice. Start from where you began. You began with, I don't want the cold. I want milk. I'm feeling hungry. So this is how it began a life. You're getting it? So for that matter, with this matter, this is what Charles Darwin, what he said as evolutionary theory. What he came up with the idea of the evolutionary theory. He said that we were all born with the instinct, right? Survival of the fittest. We are all born with that instinct. This is what Charles Darwin said. You're getting it? So there, let us not begin with the very massive idea, which is a very impractical idea. Start from from the ground. Ground meaning day one you were born. Day one you were born, what was your reaction the moment you were exposed to this world? You cried for mother's milk. You cried that you cried that you're feeling cold. This is how we began our life. So now the point is that finally, what's the agenda? Coming to Panorama, how should we come? Is with the basic clean slate, with the basic idea that okay, finally what I want, there are two wants. You just see whether you agree with me or not. One is that there are so many challenges, there are so many miseries in life, challenges, difficulties, fears, right? So I don't want fears. I don't want any form of fears in life. I don't want any form of miseries. Okay, how many agree with me? I don't want any form of miseries in my life. How many of you agree with me? Okay, we all. Good. So one of the agendas of your life, one of the meanings of your life is to stay away, get rid of the fears of your life. Number one. And then number two, some people, they have all the material facilities. Some people, they struggle for promotion. Some people, they struggle to get a job. They don't get the desired job. Once getting into the job, then they're seeking promotion. They're not getting, there's the struggle, not getting promotion. Right? Okay. So the point is that we seek all these things, and then what we seek, we're not getting. This is known as the miseries. And nobody wants that. So coming here to Panorama, one of the missions that we need to keep in mind is to learn how to get into the miseries. Learn how to get into the miseries. I'm sure you have many questions. How can he teach in just few days? Or how can Panorama teach in few days that my miseries will be over? In any ways, my promotion is not in his hand. My promotion is in the hands of the boss, right? Simply by attending Panorama, he will not consider me for promotion, right? Okay, so these questions are there, don't worry. I'll be very happy to deal with these questions, right? Later on. Okay, the first thing is, one of the meanings of your life is to get rid of your fears, get rid of the fears and get rid of the miseries of your life. How many of you agree with me? Whether accomplished, not accomplished, that is up to you. That we have to learn, but at least this is the aspiration. One of the aspirations. One. The next aspiration is that somebody who does not have to worry about promotion, worry about good job, just the person himself. Because of the family business, big family business, you are already you finish your high school, the graduate from college, and you are appointed as the CEO of your family company, right? So you don't really have to worry about promotion and so forth, but everything is there, and you feel so bored, right? My life is so boring. You just get up, and you want to go to the office, not office, up to you, it's your company, right? And life is everything is just the routine. There's nothing the exciting, right? And birthday gift, other people birthday gift, they get something, right? They're very happy, but for you, there's nothing really that will make you material things. There's nothing that you already have the iPhone what? XR. You already have the iPhone XR when you were in class 10, right? So therefore, there's nothing in the world that will make you. You already have the what car? Limousine car, or what? What is it called? Jaguar. Jaguar is nothing. Bugatti, Mercedes, even Mercedes is so. Okay, right? The best of the cars, and very fancy cars, right? Crores and crores. Okay, you already have them. Since you're class 2, 3, you're the chauffeur there, right? Taking you to your class school, coming back. So life is so boring for them. So, in terms of the conventionally, in the worldly sense, what is misery for them is not there, conventional in the loose sense. But their life is so boring, right? So I'm so stressful. I'm going to depression because life's so boring, right? Okay. So now for them, although there's no immediate threat, but they're looking for happiness, excitement, You're getting it? They're looking for happiness, excitement. So there are two goals in a life. How many of you want happiness? Raise your hands. Very good. Okay, who is that? Those who attend the Panorama or without attending Panorama? Huh? Only those, maybe those who attend the Panorama? No, both, right? Girls or boys? Huh? Ladakis or non-Ladakis? Both. Educated, uneducated? Oh, maybe Buddhists or non-Buddhists? No, there's no difference in religion, there's no difference in gender, there's no difference in education background. Everybody seeks happiness. You agree with me? So, if that is the reality, then the second meaning of your life is to acquire the maximum happiness in your life. First meaning of the life is to get rid of all the miseries to the best you can. Number two is to acquire the maximum happiness. These are the two agendas of your life. You getting it? Okay, so if this is your agenda, then coming to Panorama, see if I can learn something to accomplish either the part of this or in full, the aspirations. What are the two aspirations? To get rid of all the fears of life, to get all the miseries of life, and to acquire the maximum happiness. You're getting it? To two things. So anybody who's trying to get these two things, is known as somebody who's being kind to yourself. Kind to yourself. In other words, be kind to yourself. Begin your life by being kind to yourself. It doesn't matter what religion that you're following. Be kind to yourself. Number one, be kind to yourself. Right? Okay, average, you must be in your 20s. Yes? Average 20s. Is there anyone who's younger than 20? 19? Here, 18? 18? Okay, 19, one. Others, 20s or early 30s, whatever. Okay, let's say that, okay, what do we say? So, number one, what's the meaning of life? Be kind to yourself. You're getting it? What's the meaning of my life? To make it very simple, be kind to yourself. Whether you're Buddhists, Hindus, Muslims, Jains, Christians, Jews, non-believers, it doesn't matter. Whether boys, girls, educated, uneducated, they say very wealthy or moderate, it doesn't matter. Everybody should make sure that, okay, the purpose of my life, the meaning of my life, one, is to be kind to myself. To be kind to myself, right? This is very important. The next question is, then some of you may think that after about like maybe 20 years, do you think that after 20 years you will still come like this group together? Very likely not. By 20 years, most of you are already settled. And then after 20 years, right, say you may be going through a tough time. And suddenly you remember, oh, I think like, what? 20 years ago or 25 years ago, once we were a part of something, Dharma, what? Flowering Dharma, right? Flowering Dharma group. And then we attended some program. What is that? What is that center known as? What? Tibetan Cultural Center or Tibet Buddhist Center or Tibet House, something like that, right? And this, who was that? I don't remember that too well. So that person said, be kind to yourself, right? Now I'm going through difficult times after 20 years. Okay, I should not forget it. I should be kind to myself, right? Okay, so I feel the anxiety, stressful. To relieve, I have to kind to myself by relieving my stress. How to relieve the stress? I go to the pub. I should go to the pub for the drinks, right? So that my stress will go away. I will forget my anxiety, worries, right? For the next 1-2 hours. Oh, this is the meaning of being kind to. I should be kind to myself, right? Okay, I'll go to pubs because I remember that somebody told me like 20 years ago, in 2018 or 19 something. Right? Okay, you go there. So that although you are trying to fulfill the first aspiration, which is to be kind to yourself, but you are not being wisely kind to yourself. This being very unwise. So what we do is that we should be wisely kind to yourself. Not only that you should be kind to yourself, but you should be wisely kind to yourself. Which means that, what do you mean by wisely kind to yourself? do those things which actually give rise to happiness, and stop those things which will give rise to miseries. What you want is happiness. What you don't want is suffering. Stop those things which will actually give rise to miseries. Do those things which actually give rise to happiness. You're getting it? This is the meaning of be wisely kind to yourself. So now coming to Panorama, if somebody asks you, what's the purpose of, what for have you been there for the Panorama? Then you can say that, oh, I learned that the two things, the two missions or the two aspirations of my life. One is to be kind to myself. Number two is be wisely kind to myself. Don't forget it. Okay. With this, okay. So now the next, okay, tell me, what could be your next question? I said, what should be your aspirations for your life? Be kind to yourself and be wisely kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself means, right, get rid of your what you don't want. I don't want miseries, get rid of miseries. What you want, I want happiness, get the maximum happiness. This is the meaning of be kind to yourself. Number two is what? Be wisely kind to yourself. What's the meaning of that? Do those things which actually give rise to happiness, and stop those things which give rise to miseries. As simple as that. Okay. Now the point, what could be the next question? So this is where we come to thus far, right? So what could be the next question? If you can take me to the next question. So from what I said that be kind to yourself by giving yourself happiness, by getting rid of miseries. And be wisely kind to yourself by doing those things which actually give rise to happiness, and which stop those things which will give rise to miseries. This is what I said. So what could be the next question?
How to enhance happiness or how to reduce miseries.
Very good. How can I, okay, maybe two things. What are those things? What are those things which will give me happiness, and how to do that? And what are those things which give me miseries, and how to stop that? Do you agree with me? Good. Okay, this is how we're going to begin this. What did I do? What did I do? Clapped, right? Okay, don't think that this must be philosophy. Right? It's just a simple clap, right? Okay, this sounds for clap. So this clap is analogous. It is analogous. It is analogy. It is a metaphor for the miseries that we are going through. You're getting it? How many of you in your life you had some experience of miseries? Raise your hands. Some experience of miseries. Okay, this is my wrong question. The correct question is, how many of you did not have any experience of miseries in life? Surprising. Older ones is fine. The younger ones, how come? You're all very young. You all had the experience of suffering, miseries in your life. Okay. So, is there anyone who likes to share your experience? Very quick. Share your experience. What form of suffering or misery that you went through in your life? Anybody? Very quick. Very quick. One or two sharings. Anyone? Okay, don't feel shy. Okay, whereas if there's something confidential, I respect that. Right? Whereas if there is something which you don't mind sharing with other people, feel free to share that. Anyone, the girls, boys, residents, anyone? Anyone who likes to share? Oh yes, Nubala? Okay, Nubala likes to give the mic to somebody who likes to share. Anybody? Very quick. Anyone? No? Yes, here. Okay, what do? Is you introduce yourself very quickly, your name, what are you doing, what studies and so forth.
My name is Lama. I am from Village and I am studying Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul. I am in the final year of psychology.
Okay, what's your fear? What's your the misery?
I am very fear of failure actually.
Okay, the fear of failure, the misery of the fear of failure. That's very true.
If suppose I do my exam, although it's average, but I always expect more from myself. So by thinking about like how much I will score and whatever reasons, I get very sad about all this. Although I know that it's not good to stress yourself so much, but also I can't control myself and I become extremely sad. And
Your name again?
I'm not been able to control since 9 years.
Your name again? Your name? Dawala. Okay, so Dawala's worry, the fear is not the fear of failing the exam. For her, the failure means, say, she scores like 80% and she expects more than that. Like she scores say like 96, she expects 98. If she gets 98, she expects 100. Right? So that is the meaning of the failure according to the Dawala, not according to me. According to me, failure means fail. Right? For me, when I was like younger than you, I always failed in Hindi exam. Literally failed. It's not like, oh, I wish I score 80%. You know, I only scored 1976. Not like that. I literally failed below 33. Right? Okay, so they are failure. My failure is your failure. Our failure is the mark of success. Right? Okay, very good. Anyone else? Yes, over there, Nivula.
A few months ago, I met with a bike accident actually.
Okay.
The moment after that, I was so afraid that I will die. So that was like really like so much of
Very scary.
Very scary.
Okay, the fear of dying after the accident, right? Okay, so we know that each one of us, we have own version, we have own forms of the fears of life. Okay, don't forget this. So in fact, in your case, just recall any moment of fear in your life. Just recall right now for a few seconds. Recall any moment of the fear. You don't have to share with us. Just recall any moment of the fear. Okay, once done, now this fear, the sound of a clap, that is analogous to the fear, to the misery which you went through, which you are going through. You're getting it? Tension, depression, anxiety, the fear of losing somebody, the fear of, say, the failures, the fear of dying, fear of not getting promotion, fear of not getting a very decent college or university, or your intended, your desired subjects, and so forth. So that is the sound is analogy, or is analogous to this all these forms of fears. Now we see that this sound should necessarily arise through the two hands. Do you agree with me? This sound is necessarily, the sound of the clap should necessarily arise through the combination of the two hands. So the one hand symbolizes external factors, the other hand symbolizes internal factors. You're getting it? You may be wondering, what is external factor, what is internal factor? You're getting it? Okay, let's say that, okay, Delhi, right? In December, early January, Delhi is very cold, right? It's very cold. I don't want to go to Delhi, it's very cold. Okay, Delhi in May, June, I don't want to go, it's so hot. Right? Okay, say, I don't want to be by myself because I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to be with other people. I have no privacy. You're getting it? When you're by yourself, you say that I'm lonely. When you're with other people, you say that I don't have privacy. Right? So, same. If you fail the exam, I failed the exam, I'm miserable. If you pass the exam, I do not get the first division. If you get the first division, I do not get distinction. If you get the distinction, I do not get the topper. If you're topper, I'm not the topper of the whole India. Right? If you're topper in the whole India, it's shame that I didn't get admission in Harvard University. Right? Just endlessly going. You're getting it? So there are two things: external factors and internal factors. You're getting it? Okay, let's say that there are two people. There are two persons. Say, both of them are given a separate room, and then Person A says, wow, it's amazing. I have so much of privacy, right? I have so much of privacy. I can relax, I can rest. When I sleep, nobody's snoring, right? And then the other person said that it's so boring. I'm so lonely. Okay, it's the same one room. One room. In both cases, external factor is the same, just one room. But for person A, there's too much joy coming. Person B, one room gives such a sadness and loneliness. What's the difference? External or internal? Internal. Okay, what is external? The room, single room, right? Single room is same. If the single room gives rise to suffering, then both should suffer. But person A is very happy. Person B is the one who is suffering. Why person A is happy? It's not simply because of the single room. Something is with the internal factor. Why person B is unhappy? It's not with the single room. If it is just single room, if it's just for the single room that the person feels unhappy, then the single room should be making unhappy the person A also. So the point is, it's not just a single room. It's not just external. There's an internal factor also. You're getting it? Okay. So how many of you are taking mathematics as your subject? Raise your hands. Mathematics as a subject? Or okay, very good. Very good. And how many of you did your mathematics in class 10 and 12? Or class 10? All of us. All of us? Okay. We'll do a quick mathematics exercise. You ready? I promise I'll not give you the BSc mathematics. I'll give you a class 6 mathematics. Easy? Can do that? Okay. So what we do is that, look. So what we do is that we'll do the mathematics problem, right? And you give an answer only when I ask you to give an answer. Otherwise, you keep it by yourself. Mentally keep it yourself, and then you tell me when when I ask you. Only when I ask you, and then you keep me. Otherwise, you don't give an answer. Are you ready? 2 plus 1? No. Okay, let's do it again. Never mind. Let's do it again. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 minus 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 minus 2 plus 1. What's the answer? Wow, amazing. You did not forget your mathematics. It's amazing. Wonderful. Okay, let's quickly do it again. Right? Okay, ready? 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 minus plus 1 minus 1 minus 2 plus 3 plus 3 minus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2. What's the answer? You didn't have the answer. Why? Okay, tell me, why you did not have the answer? Huh?
Because you did really fast.
Okay, I'm sorry. Because I said it so fast. I said it so fast. Okay, don't forget it. Your name? Kushbu. Okay, who agree with Kushbu? Raise hands. I said it so fast. Okay, almost all of us. Okay, I'm sorry. I seek apology. I seek apology, right? I said too fast. I'm very sorry. Okay, now tell me. This sound on the clamp, that is analogous to all the miseries which we are going through. You getting it? And all these miseries, somehow they are related to two factors. The cause for the miseries related to two factors. External and internal. You're getting, don't forget it. External and internal. Okay. Now, tell me, how many external factors are there? How many external factors are there which are responsible for creating miseries on us? How many the factors are there? 2, 10, many, innumerable. What do you mean by many? 10. Then infinite. Okay, you're getting it? So now there are only two choices. Finally, what you don't want is, you don't want the suffering. You don't want the miseries. You're getting it? How many of you agree with me? Good. If you don't want miseries, right, simply praying to the Buddha, please remove the miseries, the misery of the sound of the clamp, right? Somebody continues to clap like this, right? You say to the Buddha, please stop this sound of the misery. If the Buddha is sitting next to you, he'll be very sad. What's a stupid follower? Right? If the Jesus Christ is there, Prophet Muhammad is there, and Krishna is there, they'll be very, very embarrassed. What a stupid follower. Right? Just ask the other person to stop clapping. Right? Or you pull down one of his hands. Right? Okay, 2 hands. There, you pull right hand, then the left hand, however strong. There's no sound. You're getting it? Sound of the misery stops. Or you remove the other hand. Or you remove the other hand, left hand, and the right hand, however strong. Right? Sound stops. It's not the hands, it's the sound that bothers you. Right? Even if the hands move, but the sound is not there, your misery is not there. So for you, it's not the factors, it's the miseries which you don't want. But the miseries, they arise from the 2 factors. You have to either remove the right hand, or you remove the left hand, or you remove both hands if possible. If you cannot remove both hands, at least remove one. The purpose will be accomplished. Now, of the two, which of the 2 hands are you going to remove? External factor or the internal factor?
Internal.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, but you are not being very sincere. Right? How you are not sincere? Although I'm meeting you for the first time today, still I can see that you are not sincere in your answer. Because when I gave you the second mathematics problem, you blamed me. Right? You did not say that my mind works so slow. You did not say that. You said very fast. Right? So external, me saying fast is the external one hand, and your mind does not work fast, your mind working very slow. This is internal factor. Of the 2 factors, you are so addicted to blaming the outside. You said so fast. Right? Not only Kushbu, everyone. Right? Kushbu so honestly represented all of you. Right? Otherwise, this is the answer. This represents, as long as you keep blaming external factors, your miseries will never come to an end. Because the external factors, how many are there? What did you say? How many external factors are there? Infinite external factors are there. You are getting it? Because infinite external factors are there, you cannot possibly eradicate all the external factors. So blaming external factors, meant to eradicate the external factors, this is totally living in the bubble of illusion. You're getting it? But don't deny the reality that the problems are because of both factors, external and internal. So oftentimes what happens is that we always tend to go to the extremes. One, we always blame external. Other, we always blame internal. Right? How external? We say that, okay, you said it so fast. Delhi weather is very hot. Right? Delhi weather is very cold. Okay, so my mom always makes the routine food, right? Very routine. Okay, so whatever, we always blame externally. Right? So expecting, say, you rectify external things, then I'll be happy. Fine. If you can get into external factors, and if you can stop the sound, do it. Right? It's not that, oh, you have to believe in God, you have to believe in Buddha. No, this is not the rule. The rule is that just do anything to get into the sound of the miseries. Do anything. Whether you get into external factor, whether you get into internal factor, do something that the miseries should stop. Finally, what you don't want is miseries, suffering. So for that matter, you do whatever you like. Remove the external factor, remove the internal factor, you do anything. But to think of removing an external factor is not realistic. You're getting it? Whereas we are so addicted to blaming external factors. By blaming external factors, if your miseries become zero, do it. But it does not happen. You're getting it? Don't forget it. Now, some people, they always go towards external factors. Okay, I have this mug. How I wish I have a beautiful steel mug. How I wish that if you have a steel mug, how I wish I have a beautiful silver mug. If you have a silver mug, how I wish I have a beautiful golden mug. Golden? What golden? What's that? There's one thing. What's that? Huh? Platinum. Okay. So there is never end to the desire. So this is known as materialism, extreme of materialism. This is one. Now the other one is that, okay, I'm feeling very cold in Delhi. Can I come for Panorama? I'm feeling very cold. I'll be feeling very cold. No, this is just thinking, right? This is another extreme, saying that, oh, it's not really cold. This is how you're thinking. You're thinking, right? Oh, I feel so depressed. No, this is your thinking. I'm suffering from depression. No, this is your thinking. This is another extreme. Both factors involved. Now we have to look for, we should be very realistic. We should look for two measures. Immediate measures to remove your problems and the long-term measures. You getting it? Okay. Say, don't forget this. Let me give you an example. Let's say that if somebody has some problem, some illness, and suddenly there's an outburst of pain, acute pain, where the person has to scream, right? Okay, out of pain. Okay, what will you do? Okay, what will you do if somebody suddenly shouts with so much of pain? What will you do? Raise hands. Somebody raise hands. Very quick. Yes.
Go and help the person.
How to help?
By asking the person what is the problem and how it can be cured.
Okay, the person is screaming with pain, doesn't have energy to give answer to you. Hey, what's your problem? Tell me. Right? Shall I call a doctor or not? Tell me. Only if you say you. Right? Okay, anyone else? Huh?
We'll call the doctor immediately.
Okay, call the doctor immediately, right? Call the doctor immediately, then ask the doctor, there's a problem, right? Okay, the doctor, then what would a wise doctor do? Hey. Huh? Very good. The first thing the doctor should be doing is to give painkiller, right? The painkiller will not heal the problem, but the pain must be calmed down. Immediate measure is to calm down the pain. Once the pain is gone, then what will you do? Keep giving the painkiller? No, what do? Then you look for the real cause of the problem, whether it's a tuberculosis, whether it is an ulcer, whether it is this problem, that problem. You have to look for the real cause. You're getting it? Immediate measure and the long-term measure. Two. Likewise, for all our problems, think of two measures: immediate measure and the long-term measure. For the immediate measure, say external factors. Say, for example, okay, Panorama in the early January in Delhi is cold, my body is weak, I cannot bear the cold, so I should take warmer clothes with me. So you are taking precaution of the external factors. This is so wise. Don't think that external, internal, it is the internal, right? So internal, see external, I cannot blame the external cold weather, so I don't have to take the warm clothes, and then you die. You're getting this so unwise. So we have to take the immediate measure. Immediate measure involves taking precaution to get away from the external factors, cold, the poverty, and so forth. Okay. Now long-term measure. Long-term means get rid of the suffering completely. How to get rid of the suffering completely? Either get rid of the external factors completely or get rid of the internal factors completely. So which is more viable? Getting rid of the internal factors. You're getting it? Okay. So say, why not external factors? It's nice, right? It's nice if you can get rid of all the external factors, then you are very happy. Because there are so many external factors, innumerable external factors, right? Our lifetime is too short. Okay, right? So this reminds me of one incredible great Indian psychologist by the name Bodhisattva Shantideva. So his book, you must keep this book as the manual of your happiness, secret of happiness, manual for the secret of your happiness, right? So there what he said, the book is a guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life. A guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life, Shantideva. So what he said, is beautiful. What is that? Is that, okay, whatever we said thus far, he summarized that in one stanza. What is that? Is that, say, you want to go out walking, outside, and then you see that the pebbles prick your feet, and then, okay, the pebbles disturb it pricks my feet, so they cover the earth with the leather so that I can walk very smoothly, right? And he said that, where can you get enough leather to cover the entire earth? You won't find such amount of leather. Instead, wiser is it to cover the 2 tiny feet with the 2 tiny leather and walk. That suffices covering the entire earth with the leather. It's beautiful. Incredible great psychology. So covering the the earth with the leather is like trying to get into all the external factors, which is beyond, which is next to the impossibility. And then cover the 2 tiny feet with the 2 tiny leathers. That suffices covering the entire earth with the leather. You're getting it? So that is just get into the internal factors. External factors, however numerous they are, however strong they are, right? Internal factor, you remove this. External factor, however strong, numerous, sound of the clamp stops. Sound of the misery stops. You're getting it? This is the meaning of be wisely kind to yourself. You're getting it? Be kind to yourself means get rid of all the suffering. Be wisely kind to yourself means get rid of the internal factors. Okay, what could be the next question? Tell me. What would be the next question?
How to get rid of?
How to get rid of the internal factors? Okay, so perhaps this question, how to get rid of these internal factors? Do you agree with me that this same question, I'll break this into 2. One is, what are the internal factors, and how to get rid of them? You getting it? You agree with me? Good. What are the internal factors, and how to get rid of these 2 factors? Okay, these are 2 questions, very important questions. What are the internal factors? Okay, now I'll give you from how many are from chemistry? Subjects, chemistry? 1, 2, 3. Okay, how many you learn organic chemistry in your school? We all learn organic chemistry, right? So there are so many formulas. Right? So many formulas are there, so many equations are there. You remember? Some of you might have forgotten that. There are so many equations, organic chemistry, right? In fact, I was fed up with all these the equations. I noted down all these equations on a small booklet which I made myself. And I have to memorize all these equations. And at one point, I got a feeling that who made all these equations? Somebody has made these equations. That person must have a principle, right? Principle. Let's say they must be on some principle, governed by some principle. Then he or she came up with all these equations, right? So therefore, what is that principle? I want to know that, so that I don't learn all these equations. I know the factory, right? I know the factory. Then from there I can produce all these equations myself. This was what I was learning, but I did not get this principle, the basic principle behind which the first person who created all these equations came up with. I do not still get it, right? Anyway, lucky I left chemistry. Okay, so what I'm saying is that I'll give you say 2 symbol equations or 2 symbol formula, right? I promise not to make it more, only 2. One is, if you don't want suffering, right? Suffering, internal factor responsible for all the sufferings is ignorance. Internal factor responsible for all the suffering equals ignorance. That is one equation that you have to know. Internal factor responsible for all the miseries, all the sufferings, all the fears equals ignorance. 1. The formula number 2, right? The ultimate source of infinite happiness. Ultimate source of infinite happiness is altruistic intention. Altruistic intention altruistic intention of love. Altruistic intention of love. Okay, altruistic love. Altruistic love. Altruistic, altruistic, altruistic love, or altruism. Okay, so what is the first formula that I gave you? Internal factor.
Are all responsible for.
Okay, so I have to, I'm mixing up two things. Okay, I have to first give the two formulas, right? Two negative formulas, then I'll give you the two positive formulas. Two negative formulas is the internal factor for all the miseries equals ignorance. Internal factor of lack of happiness equals selfishness, self-centered attitude. Internal factor for all miseries equals ignorance, and the internal factor for all the unhappiness, lack of happiness equals self-centered attitude. You're getting it? Now these are the two negative formulas. Now I'll give you two positive formulas. It's very easy now, right? Okay. Internal factor for the fearlessness, fear, misery, suffering. What's the opposite of the fear? Fearlessness, right? The internal factor for the fearlessness equals wisdom. What's the opposite of ignorance? Wisdom. Very good. Internal factor for fearlessness. Fearlessness, we want fearlessness. I want to be fearless. I don't want to have fear. I don't want to have miseries. I don't want to have suffering. I want fearlessness. What can bring this fearlessness? Just check what brings the fear, what brings miseries. Finally, what brings misery? Ignorance. What's the opposite of ignorance? Wisdom. If you don't want the fears, if you want to become fearless, cultivate wisdom. One. And if you want infinite happiness, if you want maximum happiness, what's the cause of the unhappiness? Self-centered attitude. If you want the maximum happiness, go to do the opposite of self-centered attitude. That is altruistic love. Altruistic love. Altruism or altruistic love. You getting it? Okay. So this is what we should be doing. Now, it is the same. So now, these are the two formulas that I gave you. What is your next question to me? You're happy now?
How to apply in the daily life?
How to apply what?
These formulas.
Okay, how to apply these two formulas in our daily life?
How we can train our mind to get rid of the internal factors or ignorance.
Okay, how to get rid of this ignorance? You getting it? This is a very important question. How to, in other words, get rid of ignorance, get rid of self-centered attitude. How to do that? Cultivate. What's the opposite of ignorance? Wisdom. For example, let's say if it's truly dark, if it's truly dark now, if there is no light there, if there is a power cut, and you want to write something, you want to read something, then there's no light. So what do you need to do? And then we pray, Buddha, Lord Jesus Christ, please remove the darkness. Right? Oh Krishna, oh Prophet Muhammad, Allah, please remove the darkness. If you say like this, if the Allah, Prophet Muhammad, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus Christ, Mahavir, then the Bahula is great. If all these great enlightened beings, they are sitting next to you, they'll be very sad, they'll be very embarrassed. What a hopeless, stupid follower. Right? Instead, if you light a candle, they'll be so happy. Right? If you light a candle without saying Buddha, Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, instead of that, if you light a candle, they'll be very happy. Right? Wow, this person can really become enlightened. This person will really achieve the two aims of the life, right? To get rid of fears and to have the maximum happiness. So we have to, just as to eradicate the darkness, it is only through introducing the light. You agree with me? Likewise, it is only through introducing the light of the wisdom that the darkness of ignorance can be eliminated. It is only through introducing the light of the wisdom that the darkness of ignorance can be eradicated. One. Then number two, it is only through introducing the light of the altruism, compassion, altruism, that the darkness of self-centered attitude can be eradicated. You're getting it? If you don't want to go into depression, if you don't want to go into stress, if you don't want to go into any form of fears, miseries in your life, cultivate the wisdom. If you want maximum happiness, cultivate the unconditional love, altruism. Right? The next question is how to cultivate these two, how to cultivate the wisdom, how to cultivate the altruism, altruistic love. Okay, so these two are the major questions. For that matter, what time to stop? 7:30. Okay, so for that matter, what we do is that because we have only about 6 sessions now 5. Okay, so today, what we do is that we'll do the first one, how to build this, how to cultivate this wisdom. How to cultivate this wisdom. To cultivate the wisdom for what? For what? To get rid of ignorance. Very good. And why should we have to get rid of ignorance? Why? Why we have to get into ignorance?
To get maximum happiness.
Wow. Is this from Panorama? Alright. So why to get into ignorance? To get maximum happiness or what? Why to get into ignorance? Hey. To get into the fear. Don't forget it. To get into fear is one goal, and to have maximum happiness, second goal. There are 2 goals. You're getting it? Don't forget it. Don't boil everything down to, happiness. Right? Okay, let's say, okay, what is Panorama? It's about happiness. Right? Okay, what did you learn? The second session is about happiness. What did Puja Ma'am teach you about happiness? Right? No. We should be more sophisticated. You're getting it? We should be more sophisticated. We should be very precise. We have to learn these skills, right? We have to learn the skills. In fact, if you go to some of the schools, where the students are mostly, okay, say the Buddhist boys and girls in schools. If you say, who's Buddhist? Then they'll say, I'm Buddhist, right? What do you mean by Buddhism? Compassion, right? Okay, compassion. And then, okay, compassion other religions also have. It's not only Buddhism. Other religions also have compassion. So what is so unique about compassion? What is so unique about Buddhism? Give the answer, right? Again, somehow they will say that to be kind. Right? Okay, these are too simplistic. So now what we have to come into Panorama, what we should learn is we should be able to articulate the nuances of the thought processes. You're getting it? Say on one hand we talk about the getting rid of the fears. On the other hand we talk about acquiring happiness. These two are not to be equated. These two are very similar. They can overlap, but we have to learn how to see the nuance understanding of these two, as to how these two are different. Okay, so why do you have to cultivate the wisdom? To get rid of the ignorance. Why do you have to get rid of the ignorance? To get rid of the fears. So getting rid of the fear is one of the missions of your life, one of the meanings of your life. Okay, now why do you have to cultivate altruism? Why do you have to cultivate altruism? To get rid of self-centered energy. Very good, amazing, Panorama. Okay, thank you. Okay, so why do we have to cultivate the other-cherished mind, or altruism is to get into the self-centered attitude. And why do we have to get into the self-centered attitude? For what? To to get maximum happiness. Not just happiness. You already have some happiness, right? Happiness of having chocolate. How many you had the word cakes, or the word the beginner wala, or some of you KFC? Why you are laughing? Why you are smiling when I say KFC? Okay, as a Panorama member, you have to slowly run away from KFC. You're getting it? Okay, this we'll learn later. Right? Okay. Don't say that, okay, now look, my favorite KFC is almost going away from me now. Right, coming to Panorama, oh, it's one of the greatest mistakes I made. To come to Panorama, now he's going to teach us how to get away from KFC. Okay, so the point is, don't forget these two things. And now the agenda of our life becomes very clean, very clear in your mind. Finally, what I want is, I want to get it to the best I can. I want to get rid of miseries in my life. How many of you agree with me? Experientially, how many of you agree with me? Very good. And the second one is, I want to have the maximum happiness. Raise your hands who agree with me. Okay. If you don't want fears of life, if you don't want suffering in your life, if you don't want miseries in your life, tell me, do you have the miseries or you don't have the miseries? You have miseries. What attracts the miseries? Ignorance. Very good. You're getting it? Ignorance. Now if you don't want the miseries, what should you do? Get rid of ignorance. How? By cultivating wisdom. Very good. Wow, this is amazing, Panorama. Okay, the next. How do you like happiness? Not only happiness, a genuine happiness. Okay, we all like it. If you want genuine happiness, maximum happiness, infinite happiness, what should we do? We should practice. Well, first we have to get it out. Why all these things are happening then? If you want happiness, maximum happiness, but you are not having the maximum happiness, why the maximum happiness not happening? What within you stops you? What stops you? What stops you from having the maximum happiness? Huh? External factors, internal factors, both are there, right? Not only internal factors, external, both are there. And long term, what is internal factor? Self-centered attitude. For example, on your birthday, you expect somebody to give you the cake. You expect your mother, or father, or brother to give you, or sister to give you a cake, and they all forgot your birthday. Then what happens? You feel so upset. Why you're so upset? Because they forgot my birthday. They forgot my birthday, right? Okay, so they, external, internal? They, external, right? So we point to the external factor, right? And then they forgot my birthday. My birthday, mine. Not that they forgot his birthday. They forgot her birthday. No, they forgot my birthday. This is known as self-centered attitude. So with this thought, does it make you happy or unhappy? Very unhappy. So we point to the external factor. External factor is there, no doubt. But internal factor is also there. Some people, on the birthday when nobody comes, they feel very happy. You know why? You may not believe in it. For example, say personal me. One time I was a little sick. I was a little sick with not really flu, something close to flu. Then one of the Tibet House staff, that I think that I took a 1 day leave. Oh no, it was Saturday. Tibet House off. And then the Tibet House staff from the place, right? The staff called me. Geshe-la, do you need help? You're sick. I'll come to cook food for you. I said, please don't come. I said, please don't come. I said, why? Because if you come all the way from Mushngatila, not campus down. It's very tiring for you. Coming there, I have to serve you tea. I have to serve. Oh, would you like to have some water, tea, so forth? I will not get rest. Right? You come here to help me. Actually, I'm helping you. Right? So actually, I have to serve you. How can I sit idly like this, and you come all the way there, tired, still making tea and so forth? So therefore, I'm not getting rest. So I rather have you not come. Right? Okay, so what I'm saying, some people say for the birthday, these things, when so many people come, they feel so congested, right? They feel they run away, they feel more free themselves, privacy. You're getting it? Okay, the point is external factors are there, internal factors there. If you want happiness, right? Immediate factor, external, internal, take care of both. Long run, take care of the internal factor. What's the internal factor which forbids you from maximum happiness? Self-centered attitude. And how to get rid of this self-centered attitude? By cultivating altruism, altruistic love. You're getting it? So, with Panorama, what you've learned thus far from the Puja lab and from the coming sessions is how to cultivate the wisdom and how to cultivate the altruistic love or altruism. You're getting it? These are the two jobs. Now it becomes very clear in your mind that finally, as somebody going to college, going to university, or doing a job, whatever, now my mind, the goal of my life, aspiration of my life, meaning of my life has become very clear. Finally, what I should be doing is eventually I should be making myself happier and happier by resorting to the wisdom and by resorting to the altruism. You're getting it? Okay. Now, as a mark of you, somebody, of you actually extracting the meaning of your life, whether or not you're doing this. How can you know this? Pretty easy. At the moment you're in your 20s, except for the girl here who's 19, right? Otherwise, we're all in your 20s, right? 20s, and then at 20s, how long will you be in your 20s? For the next 30 years? No, you're getting it? 20s is just, I remember, once I was 12 years old. It's very interesting. I was 12 years old, and suddenly one day, it so happened that I discovered the age of one of the schoolmates, and he was 17. Very old, 17. Very old, right? Then slowly I became 17. And fine, still young, right? And then I discovered the age of one of the school teachers. He was in his 30s, 32 or 33. Then I thought, oh no, right? He went through the same procedure as I'm going now, right? One day I'll also become one like him, like 30s, very old, right? And then slowly I became 30s. And people say, oh, very young, right? So I felt I was so young. Then I was in Cambridge, 2004, in my 30s, Cambridge, one of the hosts, just 2 days before I reached Cambridge, he celebrated his 50th birthday. I reached there, I discovered that they were talking about his celebration of his birthday like this. What birthday? 50th? What is there to celebrate? Half a century gone, right? Half a century gone, what is there to celebrate? No, so pathetic. It's like to say why not? You keep it confidential, right? The celebration, what is there to celebrate, really? So, celebrating to say that you're old. Then now I become 50, and then recently I was in Mumbai, and there was one of my hosts, he was saying, now I become old. He himself was describing himself, I become old. I said, how old are you? He said, I'm 65. No, 65 is nothing. So just look at the America, England, there, people in their 75, 80, still they are so healthy. 65 is nothing. Then he asked, how old are you? I said, 50. Oh, baby. Right? So the point that I'm saying is you wouldn't believe, right? Say, just in my neighborhood, there were some young boys, 7 years ago, young boys, very young, age maybe 7, 8, they were playing football. right? Now it's a so like for me it is like just like 1 or 2 years lapsed now, 1 or 2 years. And then one day I saw them playing football in the same small ground, playing football. They were already very tall boys, and then from the face I could identify them. They were once very young. It's just like 1 or 2 years that they shot up like this. Actually not 1 year, 2 years. Time simply flew, right? So likewise in your 20s, time will flew. Now the point is, how can we say that, okay, now I'm really being kind to myself, I'm really being wisely kind to myself. How do we know that? The mark of that is as you age, we are not going to remain as 20s all the time. As I said earlier, 12, then in my say the 30s, then in my 40s. Okay, 40s is very interesting. 40s I was in Varanasi when I was in my 40s. Mid 40s, I was in Varanasi. And Varanasi, the Tibetan University Vice Chancellor, he invited me for some work. And then he was there with another lady professor, a very senior lady professor, maybe say in 70s. And the Vice Chancellor must have introduced me, in my absence, introduced me to the lady professor, saying that, oh, I also invited the director of Tibet House, right? And the lady professor was sitting there, and so I turned up. I showed up, and the Vice Chancellor said, he's the one, he's the new director of Tibet House. And the lady professor, he scanned my body from the toe to the head, like this, right? Young director, right? She said, young director. Okay, I don't feel anything because I don't know what is the meaning of young director, I don't know, right? So I just sat there, and then she again looked at me, said, young director, twice. And suddenly she rectified it. She changed it by saying that, oh no, I don't mean young in a different sense. I mean age-wise, you're young, right? Because young director means inexperienced director, right? This could be the negative connotation. This is not what she meant, because the earlier director, former director of the Tibet House, who she met so often, was in his say the late 60s. So she was expecting somebody with a grey hair, right? And then suddenly somebody for 40s, she couldn't believe her eyes. So young director, but for you it's not young, right? 40 is very old. What is there? Youngness there, right? Okay. So what I'm saying is that the age will fly, time will fly. You're getting it? Time will fly. Okay, time will fly. For example, here this girl Kikila, right? The first time I met her, she was in a the early teen, and just yesterday, I met her, and I could not identify her first, and then finally something clicked in my mind that I checked, and I came to know that this is a girl who was just this very young few years ago. And I could not believe my eyes that she's that one, which means that this much of years already elapsed. It's not just for me, it's for all of us. You're getting it? Time will fly. As the time flies, how do we know that I am being kind to myself and I'm being wisely kind to myself? How do I know this? It is through one measure. It's very simple. That is that 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. As you become older, age-wise, as you become older, you become happier and happier. And this 50s, 60s, 70s, you become happier, right? And then as you reach like age 60, 70, then the people will keep you as from aliens, right? Keep you, okay, will not really include with you. They'll just say hi and then they leave, right? So at that time, you become very happy that you have so many things to reflect on, to see the meaning of your life. And This is one story. Another story is somebody ages 20, 30, 40, 50. Then when you reach particular 40s, right? You still think that you are young. How many are in the 40s? Raise hands. Is anyone? Okay. Say when you are in your 40s, you still think that mentally you think that you're still very young. You are. You are physically so fit, fine. Particular people who can really maintain the body. They are so fit and fine. The boys, the girls, fit and fine. Okay, but when you were in your 20s, what do you see of the people in 40 years? Old. You're getting it? When you reach 40s, you think that you're young. There's going to be another batch. They will see that you're old. Right? In fact, this was something so interesting. What happened was that I have a nephew. One of my nephews. And there was somebody who was the bodyguard of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And physically so strong, well built. And he must be in those days, he was just like 1 year, 2 years older than me. And in class-wise, 1 year senior to me. Physically, he's so fit, fine, the bodyguard of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, right? Then he was just, I think, in his 30s. And then my nephew also, slowly he grew and he must be in his 20s. Then when they were playing basketball, so one day when my nephew was with me in my house, he said that, where is this person coming, How come that this person is coming to play basket with the young ones? Which means he's not young. You're getting it, 30s. What about if somebody is 40s? Even more distance. So the point is, what I'm saying is that as you become older, like 40s, the younger ones will kick you out. The moment you kick you out, then you will miss your youth. If you start missing your youth, right? Missing youth, you feel nostalgic, you feel reminiscent of your youth time, which means that you have not led your life fully. You have not led a meaningful life. You have not been wise to yourself. No, you have not been kind to yourself. You have not been wisely kind to yourself. You're getting it? So at this point, so with this in mind, say we have another 10 minutes. So say the four seals of the Buddha's teaching that we will not do today. We'll do it. Okay, the four fields I will quickly introduce to you. The more detailed explanation we'll do the next class. Right? Okay. So the four seals. Four seals meaning anybody who wants to get rid of the fears of life. Anybody who wants to get rid of the miseries of your life, they should practice these 4 points. So these 4 points are known as the 4 seals. Seals meaning, if the government seals a house, what does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean if the government seals house? No, it's a controversial house. Nobody is to touch a house till the government says that you cannot break the seal. Right? Seal means is sense of possession by the government, saying that nobody is to touch it. Likewise, the seal means it remains true. It remains true, right? Okay. Same. The Buddha taught many teachings. Some teachings can be interpreted according to different time, different space. Time and space, with difference in time and space, you can interpret the teachings separately. But these 4 lines are something which everybody has to practice if you don't want miseries in your life. You're getting it? Okay, now don't follow blindly. Don't forget it. Don't follow blindly. Never follow blindly. This is so important. Don't follow blindly. That see if these 4 lines, they really make sense for somebody who wants to get into miseries, whether you're Buddhists, whether you're Muslims, Hindus, Jains, Christians, Jews, non-believers, Anybody who wants to get rid of the fears, following these 4 lines is mandatory. Then you have to analyze yourself. Don't follow blindly. You're getting it? This is so important. In fact, in Buddhism, there's no rule for blind faith. Don't forget it. There's no rule for blind faith. Okay, once I was in Cambridge, when I was in Cambridge there, in fact, I'm so keen to meet with physicists. So in Cambridge, I met one physicist, a brilliant physicist. I met with him and met with him through a common friend. Otherwise, he would not be willing to meet any, spiritual person, religious person. So, the common friend, he introduced me to him, saying that he is following Buddhism, and then he is fond of physics. Just to make his friend happy, he asked me any questions of physics. So this, otherwise he's least interested with me. Then we started to have more discussions, and it went. I asked him some questions about the momentum, and then slowly into time, the concept of time, and he said there's no time. So then the debate started. 2 of us debate started, and then we were invited for a birthday party, right? Party should be actually finishing by 10 p.m. and then 2 of them were still debating till like 12 a.m. And finally the common friend, he became fed up. He said, 2 of you can continue your debate later on. Please leave the house. So 2 of us were kicked out. So then he said, the physicist, he said that, Dorji, we have to meet again. He said, I'll invite you for a lunch. No, I'll invite you for a dinner. We'll continue the debate, discussion. So he invited me. And then he said, there in his house, he said that in this world, only physics is education. Okay, how many of you are from physics? Raise your hands. Only 1, right? So only 1, 2. Only 2 are from physics. Only 2 are with education, according to him. Right? In this world, only physics is education. I said, he's very daring. I said, how come that is only physics education? And the reason that he gave is amazing. He said, only physics allows you to have a critical thinking. All others are imitation of the earlier teachers. Right? This is what he said. Then I told him, okay, if this is your justification for what you said, listen to what the Buddha has to say. What the Buddha said, wise men, women, and the monks, just as the goldsmith tests the purity of the gold by cutting, rubbing, and burning the gold, you should also examine my words and put them into practice, not simply because you respect me. I said this. This is what Buddha said. And then he remained silent for a few seconds. Then he said, oh, the Buddha must have been a great physicist. Right? Okay, so what I'm saying here is that finally, that what the Buddha taught, these 4 seals, these 4 lines, these 4 principles, they are not to be taken blindly. Right? Study them, and see if they make sense to you. Finally, you should be happy. Not that the Buddha will be happy if you study that. Right? You should be happy. Right? If you take the pizza, Italians, they don't know whether we are taking pizza or not. But as long as you are happy, that's good. But you don't have to become Italian. Don't forget it. So likewise, the point is that they say, just see if they make sense to you. Believe it or not, if it makes sense to you, you see that your life will become very easy. Right? Unnecessary stress will all dissolve. Right? And then you can make your parents happier. You can make your friends happier. You can make yourself happier. You're getting it? And then, if you're Muslim, you can be a wonderfully meaningful Muslim, good Muslim. If you're Hindu, you can become a wonderfully brilliant, sensible Hindu. If you're a Christian, you can be an incredibly good Christian, very sensible, meaningful Christian. If you're a non-believer, a very sensible non-believer. You getting it? Okay, this is so important. So with this mind, the 4 seals, the first one is all composite things are impermanent. Number 2 is all contaminated things are suffering nature. Number 3 is everything is of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Number 4 is transcending sorrow is absolute peace. Okay, so this has nothing to do with the religion. It's just a philosophy, right? So this we will study in more detail the next time. Okay, we have another 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Okay, questions. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me if you have any questions. Questions from the last classes as well. The last 2 classes from Pujala's class and from what you're doing now. Any questions? Just feel free to raise questions. Anyone? Anyone? Okay, time is flying. Don't forget. Okay, one there. Okay. With the mic here. Raise your hands. Raise your hands here. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hands. Okay.
Last class, it was discussed that the nature of mind.
Yes.
And there was an example of water, pure water and the coal.
Yes.
Charcoal. So I want to express that.
Okay.
Can you explain?
The nature of the mind is like the water. You say the mind versus the water, dirty water. Our mind versus the dirty water. Dirty water is the example. And the nature of our mind versus the true nature of the water. Right? So however dirty the water is, remove the dirt, the purity comes out. That purity came from outside or from within? It's from within. You're getting it? So say the black charcoal. However, so the black charcoal, if you remove the black part, what happens? The charcoal will disappear. Whereas with the water, you remove the dirty part, the water will not disappear. The purity comes out. So why the water, when remove the black part, the purity comes out, and why the charcoal, instead of becoming white, it disappears. Why? Because the whiteness, the blackness is the intrinsic nature of the charcoal, and the dirtiness, the pollutants, they are not the true nature of the water. So when you remove the pollutants, true nature of water comes out. So our mind is not like the black charcoal, our mind is like the dirty water. However dirty your mind is, however defiled our mind is, the true nature of mind, like the true nature of the water, which is so pure, our mind is also very pure. Good question. Any more questions? Yes, over there.
Geshe, how can you differentiate between ignorance and wisdom? How can you differentiate between ignorance and wisdom?
How can we distinguish between ignorance and wisdom? Okay, so let me give you a very simple example. Then you extrapolate it to the more sophisticated things. Let's say that. Okay, let's say okay, say in your dream when you have say the dream of a ghost chasing you, right? Say there's so much of fear coming. Why do you have this fear when you see the ghost chasing you? Why do you have the fear in the dream? Why? Because of seeing the dream ghost as real. Dream ghost is a dream ghost or it's a real ghost? It's a dream ghost. So the ignorance is a mind whose apprehension of the object does not tally with the reality. Ignorance is a mind whose apprehension of the object does not tally with the reality. Whereas when you wake up, oh, I'm lucky, what a relief, that was my dream. Which means that you now realize that dream ghost as not a real ghost. Dream ghost as a dream ghost. That is the wisdom. Wisdom is the discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with the reality. Ignorance is the mind whose apprehension of the object does not tally with the reality. That is ignorance. Where the apprehension of the object and the object tallies, this is wisdom. Where the apprehension of the object and the object does not tally, these two do not tally, that is ignorance. Okay, very good question. Any more questions? One more minute. Yes, Kikila.
Geshe, I was wondering what's the difference between misery and unhappiness. So you said one is because it's rooted in ignorance, and the other one is because it's self-centered aspiration.
Okay, this is a very good question. Thank you. How so? Let's say that what we said is that we want to get rid of miseries. We want to have happiness, right? And there was opposite of happiness, unhappiness. So as well, like getting rid of miseries. What's the opposite of getting rid of miseries? Having miseries. What's the opposite of happiness? Unhappiness. So what's the difference between miseries and the unhappiness? We get the impression as well, like these two are two different things. With happiness, unhappiness will go away. With the wisdom, the miseries will go away. So as well, like happiness, unhappiness versus miseries, these two are not really the same. So if you could remember, what I said is that these two can overlap. You're getting it? These two can overlap. It's not that these two are mutually exclusive. These two can overlap, but generally miseries meaning, say, the pain. For example, say somebody who's physically very healthy, materially well off, right? And then everybody is very kind, nice to the person. So there's no evident miseries. There's no evident miseries, but the person can still be very feeling so bored, right? So there's no excitement to my life. It's very boring. Life is very boring. The person does not really have an evident miseries. Physically, the person is very fit, and then materially everything's there, and the people, everyone is so kind to him or her. So there's no evident suffering, evident miseries, but the person still does not feel happy, saying that the life is so boring. You're getting it? Okay. Then say for example, somebody, the same person, and another person in the same situation. A person is for the first time meeting his brother or mother after like 10 years, right? There's a tremendous excitement. That is happiness. So now in short, okay, this is a very good question. I'm very happy that Kigila brought this up. So let us say, our mind. Finally, happiness is a mental state. Misery is also a mental state. Don't forget it. You're getting it? With the misery, what happens is that mind gets constricted. Mind gets constricted, that is the feeling of the misery. In other words, you're getting it? Say if you don't get food, you feel hungry, what happens? No. When you say no, what is the mind doing? Mind is constricted, right? That is the pain of the hunger. So when somebody says, you don't look nice, right? You don't look nice. You're very unwelcoming, right? No, this person said, I'm so unwelcoming, I'm so unfriendly, right? Again, the mind shrinks. Mind shrinking. So the mind has a tremendous capacity to shrink as well as to expand. You get it? Mind shrinking is the misery, mind expanding is happiness. You're getting it? So mind is like a spring. The spring can shrink, can also expand, right? And it's also a normal state. Spring has normal state. You can expand it more than normal state. It can shrink more than the normal state. When it shrinks more than the normal state, that is misery. When expanded more than the normal state, that is happiness. You're getting it? You're getting it? And this mind has a tremendous capacity. So this person, so somebody who has the poverty, suffering through poverty, no food, no the health, the facilities. So the mind goes through the state less than the normal state. It shrinks more. That is what we call the evident suffering. Evident suffering. And then the mind goes back to, eventually you get the food, you get the medical assistance, you get the people all around nice, gentle, not harassing you. So the mind goes back to normal state. Normal state, but it does not expand. The mind can expand more than this. Right? The moment it expands more than this is what we call as happiness. Okay, how many of, say, at the moment, how many you are in miseries? Many of you are angry? Nobody. How many of you are having a manifest, say, sadness? No. But how many are so excited? Not excited. So this knowledge is a normal state, neutral state. So misery is below the mark of the neutral state, and happiness that I'm talking about is beyond the mark of the neutral state. You're getting it? Okay. So when you experience compassion, the happiness that you feel is unparalleled. When you feel a genuine compassion, altruism, which we're talking about, when you start feeling that, the feeling of the joy is incredible, is unparalleled, is astounding. This feeling of joy. This feeling of joy that you get out of practicing compassion is not you will get by going to a 5-star hotel. You will not get this feeling. You're getting it? They have all the material facilities, but you will not get that tremendously blissful feeling. That will come only through compassion, practice of love and affection. Very good question. Any more questions? Okay, if not, we'll stop here. Okay, so we will recite this mantra. Yatha gade gade para gade para samgade bodhiswam. This mantra is, the meaning is very simple. The meaning is, it has nothing to do with Buddhism. Don't forget it. The meaning is very simple. It simply means don't remain as who you are. Keep growing, right? Keep growing, starting from Panorama. You're getting it? Gate, para samgade. Buddha means go. Don't stay ignorant. Don't stay self-centered. Go away from ignorance to the wisdom. Go away from self-centered to the kindness. This is the meaning, right? You reach to the height of the wisdom, you will become fearless. You reach to the height of other cherishing mind, altruism, you will have the infinite happiness. This is the meaning. Gade, para gade, go beyond. Para sangade, go utterly beyond. Bodhi swaha, establish your final enlightenment, final aspired goal. What is the final aspired goal? To get rid of all the fears and to achieve the maximum happiness. You're getting, this is the meaning of the mantra, right? Don't forget it. In your college, if you start running away from the classes, if you start, what do you call it? There's the one word. What is that? Huh? Bunking, right? You bunk. The bunk. And then what is that? The other boy, the girl would say, hey Tashi is not there. Then the proxy. Prox, right? Prox or proxy? Proxy, right? Tashi is not there, right? And said, hey, Tashi, the professor is Tashi. Then Nubula says, yes, sir. Right? Okay. Right? So proxy, then the bunk, right? Okay. So the point is, if you're about to bunk your class, if you're about to ask for proxy, right? Think of gade, right? Think of gade, actually keep growing. If I keep bunking, if I keep proxy, go for proxy, right? I can never go gade. Right? Then I will never reach the fearless state. I will never reach the state of infinite happiness. You're getting it? So be always mindful of that. We'll say this 7 times together. And imagine, visualize your 2 parents. Visualize all the loving, very affectionate the people around. If possible, reflect everyone, all sentient beings with you. And imagine that you are taking everyone towards the high state of fearlessness and the state of ultimate happiness. Yatha gate ara samgate bodhi swaha. Yatha gate